Hello there and welcome along. The rose up for you today can be grown as a shrub or as a very well proportioned and well mannered climbing rose, which is exactly how I'm growing it here in the North Lodge cottage garden. Bred and introduced in 1939 by Bentall, this beauty is Buff Beauty, known for its really lovely apricot lemon flowers with this lovely brassy and coppery tone to them. As grown as a shrub rose, it is a really substantial rose, reaching around 5 feet by 5 feet. You're going to need to give this rose some space. As a shrub, it's going to create a really large and informal arching mound with really graceful, woody, upright stems, which under the weight of the flowers are slowly going to bend and give a really quite natural effect to the plant itself. I fell in love with this particular rose at Mottisfont Abbey, which is a local National Trust property. It actually used to hold the National Collection of Roses here in Hampshire, which was moved up to David Austin Roses not too long ago, and they have Buff Beauty grown on an internal wall there in one of the walled gardens, where it makes an absolutely splendid climbing rose, reaching around 8 feet wide and around 8 to 10 feet tall. It really is quite substantial. So when it came to adding something to the side of the building that's next to me here, where we're clad in silver grey cedar panelling, this beautiful apricot colour was something I really wanted to pick up on. So I'm going to be growing this one as a climbing rose here when it's going to be fan trained against the wall. I say it's going to be reaching around 8 feet by about 8 feet, hopefully onto a very nearly 10. So a really quite substantial plant where it produces an awful lot of strong woody growth, which is really easy to fan train and not particularly fussy about bringing those lateral canes into that horizontal position to actually induce flowering. A repeat flowering rose, bred in 1939. This one's going to flower on and off all the way through the summer. A very large, huge wave of flowers produced in mid-June, and then continuing to flower once deadheaded on and off all the way through to the back end of September. So a really hard-working rose. This particular one has incredibly dark, rich, emerald green foliage, as you can see here, with a really lovely detailing of that blood red or burgundy red leaf axis, which is a really nice selling point. This particular rose is really thorny. Thorns laced up the back of the leaf axil and all over the stems. If I take these out of the vase, you'll see very large barbing, which again are tipped with red as well. So do be careful as you handle this one, and maybe not a great idea if you have small children and pets. But this Buff Beauty produces large amounts of flowers in huge sprays, 6, 7, 8 flowers to a spray on nice long arching stems. So once it's fan trained against the wall, they hang ever so gracefully off of the structure, giving a really lovely nodding effect. To say, if you ever head to Mottisfont Abbey and have a look at it there in the walled garden, it really is quite a sight to be seen. Absolutely stunning. The buds are a rich, deep apricot colour, tinged with a really lovely soft lemon yellow. There's also a slight amount of mossing to the actual buds just as they broke open as well, so they almost look a little bit furry. You can see just as they start to peel back, the colour changes ever so slightly. As the flowers open, they're a rich, lovely, deep apricot colour with an ever so slightly coppery or brassy tone to the flower. Within a day or two, the tone has lightened out just ever so slightly to this really beautiful, rich apricot. Each flower in the spray is around 2.5 coming on to 3 inches across. They really are very pleasant. This particular rose unfortunately does suffer with a little bit of black spot and is quite susceptible to mold and mildew, so you do need to make sure that you give it plenty of ventilation, and you will do so much to make sure that you want to mulch it properly and watch your watering as well. A really useful rose for either growing in as a large statement in a border, or as I say as a climber, but also on any aspect. This rose will thrive on a south, east, west, or sometimes even a north aspect. Now here at North Lodge we've planted it on a south aspect, so I'm really hoping that it's going to get away nicely and fill the patio that I'm currently sat on with its fragrance. On that note, it has a really very pleasant light tea fragrance, which I'm going to be rating as a 4 on my 10-star fragrance rating. The fragrance is clean, it's fresh, It has notes of green tea, and of course there are notes of citrus there as well. It really is very pleasant and really very lovely. I'm looking forward to the pair that I've planted either side of the French doors here, absolutely filling this patio with fragrance, which is going to be light and really lovely. There's a slight peppery to this as well. So I'm really looking forward to this establishing itself well. This particular rose is Buff Beauty, available from David Austin Roses and many other stockists. You can grow this one as a large statement shrub or as a fairly easy to grow climbing rose as well. Introduced in 1939, this one is an old classic, but I'm really pleased to have this as part of my collection. I hope you've enjoyed today's rose review. Don't forget to like, follow and share, and of course leave me a comment below. I'll see you all again very soon. Take care now. Bye bye.